Okay, I finally got a chance to get back to this, so I'm going to finish up chapter 4. Okay, so in here we've got the knowledge check. Let me go ahead and set my slideshow up. I'm hoping that my book did not go away, because sometimes it will time out. Okay, there we go. Employers required to furnish Form W-2, send copies to federal and state local governments. You send it to Social, believe it or not, you send the W-2s to Social Security. Instructions for completing W-2 are found in Figure 4.9. You have penalties that could happen if you file incorrect or late. I heard of somebody that was handed a blank 1099. Big no, that does not happen. Okay. Here is an example of a W-2. See in here, in Yuma, we don't have local wages tips X. We don't have to worry about that local income tax. This place obviously does. It looks like it's Philadelphia. So you can see all of this here. You can see this is the Social Security wages. Okay. This and these two could be different depending on your pre-tax deductions. So just kind of, be aware of that. When they do mine, I have one in every single one of these. And then there's also some other information in here in 14. Hold on just a second. Somebody is knocking at my door. Okay, so I had a student come in because they needed to ask me some questions. Sorry about that, but I needed to take care of that. So here's the W-2, and we see that everything looks wonderful. Always, 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 no matter what state you're in, make sure you know all of the tax laws, okay? Make sure that you pay attention to who has, what local wages, what local basically city or county government can also charge you income tax, because it just depends on where you're at. In Arizona, we're not doing that, but in California, they might be doing that. They also have different taxes as well. So make sure you pay attention to all those so that you have the right withholdings and you do the right reporting. Okay. Okay, we accidentally destroyed one. He is preparing his personal income tax. He's been advised by his friends to write to the state tax authorities requesting them to issue a new Form W-2. You know what? He should contact his employer. That would be the best way. That's what you do. Also, if you want any of your tax records, contact the IRS. You may have to pay, but the IRS has information. They have all of your tax records. So here we go. State cannot issue it. Okay, but you can contact the IRS. Okay. More than likely, the IRS will not have processed your current year's W-4s, okay? Or W-2s, excuse me. Okay, returns, quarterly and informational. You have to do a quarterly return. It's going to be with your Social Security. The form is called 941. I call it the 941 taxes. You guys know this already. And what we do is we have to report how much federal income tax we've withheld from our employees' paychecks. And then we have to go in, and there's a couple places. You put your federal income tax one place, and you put your Social Security and Medicare in another place. Then on that 941, you're also going to show all of your deposits that you've made over the quarter. Okay. 944 is employer's annual federal tax return. 945 is annual return of withheld federal income tax. You got your 1099s. There's all kinds of different 1099s. There's an interest, there's a miscellaneous, there's non-employee compensation. I got one of these this past year. In fact, I'm going to get some more in a couple of years, or this year. Okay. Here's something from cooperatives. This is in reference to retirement accounts, IRA. This is allocated return of tip and income and allocated tips. Which form is used by an employer to transmit each type of information return? Okay. I'm going to say it's Form 1096. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that. It's just a cover letter. It's just a form. It says this is how many, whatever it is we have in there. Okay, 3 different methods of withholding state and local income tax. We have to go by what the state wants us to do. So let's go ahead and I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to go find it. You can see I've got all kinds of stuff going on here. Okay. Okay, let's go to the forms. I already got my refund. I think I told you guys that. I'm waiting for my federal refund now. Okay, are we not? This is going to be another one of those days, I have a feeling, where I'm going to sit there and just spin and spin and spin. Let me go spin on this side too and see if it'll work. No, I'm spinning on that too. Okay. Oh, okay, I got there. Good. Okay, so we can go in here. Oh, we got bingo. We're going to go all the way down to withholding. Oh gosh. Corporate TPT. That's transaction privilege tax. Oh, let's find the withholdings. Okay, here we go. Withholding forms. Here's the employer affidavit. Here we go. A4. That's exactly what we want. And we're going to look at just the form. And it's really easy. Here's the percentages you get to choose. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no hard way to calculate it. It is one of these percents on your gross taxable wages, okay? Not all your gross wages, gross taxable wages. I pay my health insurance. I have deductions for health savings account. I have a retirement. I have some other insurance. All of those are pre-tax, and so we take my gross minus my pre-tax, and then I get my taxable wages, okay? And then it's one of these percentages off my taxable wages. So again, pay attention. Every state is different. So let's come back over here to the handy dandy. I am going to get this done within 30 minutes so that I can get off to my next class because I'm not going to get to breathe until I go home today. Okay. So for Arizona, you have to file a reconciliation report the same time you file your 941. It's just what you do. It's really easy, not hard. Okay, so here we go. Bernald is a resident of State A of the United States of America. He has recently joined a job at Pinnacle Technology located in State B. This one is going to be hard. This is when you tell your employees when they ask you how they should file their income taxes, you tell them to go talk to their CPA. Okay, do that. Do not tell them anything. This is his first employment and he does not have much clarity about the state tax implications. He has got to, basically, he's got to file 2 state tax returns. And what he's got to do is he's got to identify how much tax is owed to which state. And you get a credit. Like if you have to pay the tax to the other state, you get a credit on the other form or vice versa. Okay. So let's see. There are 3 different methods of withholding. Full taxation, both resident state and work state calculate the taxes without any credits. Leftover taxation, pay the full tax to the work state and then pay the rest to the resident state. Reciprocity. Withhold only for the work state or resident state, depending on the reciprocal agreement between the states. This is the one I've seen mostly. Okay. So we've got that. Okay, Chapter 4, supplement, withholding allowances. Okay, so in here, we have W-4 from 2019 identifies the number of withholding allowances an employee can take. You have a single person, a married person. You can also do person wage from a second job or a spouse. You also should have had a household, but I think that you basically you're either single, married filing jointly, or head of household. Okay. Here we go. So employer uses the information from W-4's employee withholding allowance from 2019. Now, this is what's going to happen. So in here I have 4. This is old school. Big time, big time, big time old school. And if you've had me from before 2020, I've taught you how to do this. What happens is there is a amount, your exemption amount, that you can claim that is non-taxable. And so let's say it's $100. Okay, it's not $100. It wasn't $100 back then. $100 per exemption. We have 4. So $400 of whatever the gross pay is not taxable. The remainder is taxable. The more withholding allowances, the more your non-taxable income is. Okay? So what you do is you then you use one of the tables that I showed you guys in the appendix. Let me see if I can find it on the appendix. I gotta find the right. No, it's not that one. It's one of these. There we go. Let's go back to the ebooks. Let's hope it still works. Okay. It looks like this. Yes, it's here. It's beautiful. Okay. So here's tax. This is it looks very similar to this, but it was set up just a little bit, with the different numbers in there. And so here's married filing jointly, single or married filing separate, and it's head of household. Usually they had the married filing joint, and then you had the single over here with the head of household. Okay, so let's say that I made $1,000. I had 4 exemptions, $100 each. So my taxable income is $600. So I come in here and I find from 562 to 1008, there's 0 base tax. But on anything over 582, or is it 562? I can't tell. 562, I pay 10% on. So what's over? So let's say $600, that's $38 times 10%. That's $3.80 I have withheld. It's that easy. Okay. Notice, and so this is one of the things that people often, well, the more money I make, the more taxes they're going to withhold. Well, kind of, yeah. But you start off at the base where you have 0%. Then from this amount to 1008, you pay 10% tax. From 1008 to 2375, you pay 12% on that amount. Okay? Not from 0 to 2375, from 1008 to 2375. 2375 to 4428. On that amount, you pay 22%. So that's what happens. So you always start at the base. So the lower numbers, you're taxed at that portion. It's just if you work your way on up, then you start getting higher and higher percentages withheld. I just kind of wanted to point that out. Okay. Okay, polling activity. Okay. What happened there? I hope this is still going. Let's make sure it's okay. I'm still recording. I've had some mess ups happen. Okay, Peter has to file Form W-4 with his employer. Rosie, Peter's spouse, also works as an accountant in a company. Can Peter claim a personal allowance as a withholding in his Form W-4? Yes, no, or both. The answer If an employee has a W-4 from 2019 or earlier on file with their employer, the law entitles employees to exempt a portion of their wages. So until we have to, update, we're still good. Okay. Here we go. Calculating fit withholding 2019 or earlier. I already just showed you how to do that. So here's her 2460. We look up, she's got 4 allowances. She's married. And we look it up. Okay, so they want us to go to tax table D. I went to tax table C, but to A, but that's okay. So let me find the right one. There we go. Let's go to tax table D. It's going to look exactly like tax table A. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling until I find it. It may take me a while. Okay, oh, here we go. Here's the allowances. So she's got 4. So you find what was that payroll? She's paid bi-weekly. 165 times 4. Okay, and then right here, just like I told you guys, that's exactly what it looks like. Head of household is over here, married, but you want to be single for tax purposes is over here as well. And so that's what you do. It's that easy. Okay. I wish this would set up right the way I want it to. Okay. John earns an annual salary of $102,700 and is paid bi-weekly. Divide that by 26. So he gets $3,950. Okay. So subtract the allowance amount. Okay, how many? He has 2 allowances. And so 165 times 2, 330. So you subtract that. Taxable wages are 3,620. Then you look them up in that table. Okay, here we go. Employees of chloride chemicals have Form W-4 from 2019 or earlier. I guess they don't have any new employees. Which one should it use? Well, I like the one that's easy. Both the percentage method and the wage bracket method distinguish between married and unmarried. Both methods provide the full benefit of allowances claimed by the employee. Pick the one that you're more comfortable with. Okay. Not going to do the self-assessment. There's my summary. And then I go, oh, and I'm finally done. Took me 2 days to get this done, but I got it done and it's in 2 videos. So this is not hard. Just follow the instructions. Remember, let me go ahead. I'm going to come back over. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm hoping it's going to put me in the right spot. I want this over here on this side. Okay, what's going on there? There we go. I'm going to click out of here and I'm going to come back over here. So here's Arizona. Here's the A4 that we currently use. We'll go back. Come on, sweetheart. You got to talk to your computer to get it to do what you want it to do. And it's going to spin forever. But what's going to end up happening is you're going to see some additional forms, and one of those is going to be your quarterly report. Looks very similar to your 941. Okay, there we go. Let's go back down to withholding. I want the forms. Okay. So here's the A4. This is for reduced withholding for tax credits. Okay. A1 quarter. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. Maybe if it will download for me. It doesn't look like it's going to, but let's see. I got the A4. Okay. Anyhow, it looks very similar to your 941. And that's where you get it. You can find all these forms all over the state website. So I just kind of wanted to point that out before I leave. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and save this video and I'll be posting today.